Obviously, just finished practice 14, got one more ahead of us on Friday. Our fifth week of spring ball, I thought the steady progression of our guys has been absolutely awesome. Saw a lot of our returning players get better, saw a lot of our young players get better. Had new additions, both 12 high school players from our high school class, 12 transfer players from the portal, and saw some of those guys literally play their best football today. Did a lot of situational things. On Friday, we're going to kind of get out of this morning, see where we are assessment-wise, and make a plan for Friday night, but super excited where they are. Everybody gets 15 practices, and I told them afterwards, hey, I don't know what everybody did with practice 14, but I was really proud of what the work they did. So concentrating on the players that are here and what they're doing, and hopefully can make ourselves into a better team on Friday and see where it goes. With that, open up for questions.
Brett, we got to ask Josh, and
Yeah.
it sounds like Josh is portal bound.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through how that conversation came up with you guys?
Well, it's been a 4-year conversation, right? So Josh is a kid that we're incredibly proud of. I think he's going to walk out of here, should finish up this year or this spring with a degree. He's going to walk out of here with a 4-year player that's done a lot of really good things. Was a bowl game MVP. I would say, I always tell this phrase, right? Are you surprised but not shocked, right? Like, so I knew this was going to be a conversation. Not only myself, Coach Ward, all the other coaches. Josh came in and expressed his interest in getting in the portal yesterday, and obviously I talked to him about what I thought we could do and where we're at, but his intentions are to get in the portal, and I totally understand that. The great thing for me as a head coach, he's walking out of here with a degree and accomplished a lot of really good things. I know a lot of people have opinions on it, but I wasn't shocked at what yesterday was, and we prepared for that moment. The good news is a lot of our guys always concentrate. I just saw Palcho on the field, right? And I think about, here's a guy that was blessed to have 2 years with him in today's world, right? Like, he's a guy that maybe the frustration of his career here would have led him on a different path, and to sit here and hug his dad on the field walking off, know what he accomplished while he's here. I think a lot of our players know what we can accomplish. In the portal world, just brings something different. But, for me personally, obviously one door closes, another door opens, and so Josh is a very accomplished player. I don't know if we'll do much in the running back room. We just got such a talented room coming back. He saw himself as a backup running back. I couldn't change his opinion on that. That's what he saw himself as, and if a kid sees that and believes that, that's where it's at. But for me, like, I got a couple other holes, right? Like, I got a punter that I think is extremely talented, but we're looking for a guy that can come in. If somebody wants to be a scholarship punter in the Big Ten Conference to compete for a job, but also be a guy that can shoe in and be a multiple-year starter, those guys exist out there right now. I may not know who they are. They may know who they are, and they haven't found us yet. We'll probably be active in the portal in certain positions that we need a little bit more depth, but I think our roster is pretty solid, and excited to see where it goes.
I do want to ask what that would mean. Seemingly Khalil Valentine would have a bigger opportunity now. We know Aiden, we know Caden.
Yeah.
What could this mean for Khalil?
Yeah, I think Khalil's had a really good spring. He's actually, unfortunately, was a little bit banged up with an ankle, so he actually isn't fully cleared until this past week. But Khalil's, even today, we did a 2-on-1 tackle drill, and he left some people on the ground, right? Yeah, Khalil's extremely talented. I do like the fact that Josh was kind of a back that fit the category of a couple of different backs, right? Like, obviously, Caden's a big back, Aiden's a back with all-purpose value. Khalil is kind of a smaller scat back, every down back that has a little bit of third down value. So I like the fact that we keep recruiting backs. We got 2 freshmen coming in. We got Aaron Ball, who's another guy that's played a lot of really good football for us this spring and last fall. So yeah, I think it helps define who we are, but it doesn't really affect what we do.
You wanted him back.
What's that?
You wanted him back, certainly, right?
Well, I would say this, right? If someone doesn't want to be here, I don't need them here, right? Like, it's kind of like being in any relationship, right?
Sure,
like, I think anytime you're involved with people on a long-term basis, or if they're not interested in you the way that you were interested in them at one point, it's never going to work. So I don't see it as a negative. I see it as a positive, but it's not what happens in this world, it's how you react to it. And I know our guys will react very well. And I wish Josh nothing but the best. I told him anything I could do to help him going out the world. I'm not oblivious that he's probably been contacted before yesterday. Talked to his high school coach yesterday. Tried calling his group of family that's around him. But yeah, we'll do everything we can to help him. And again, the best thing is he's leaving the University of Illinois as a grad. And as soon as that happens, mission completed.
You've sort of said this. You always want guys to feel, when they leave here, to feel good about you guys. That whole don't close the door thing. Does that work? I mean, it seems like that's worked really well.
Yeah, look, Kendall Smith, right? He's a guy that got in the portal a couple years ago. I actually have a young man that'll get in the portal in the next 48 hours that I have had the same conversation with. So, I think we'll probably have a half a dozen guys, 3 or 4 conversations yesterday that are to be determined. But, if that's a decision they've made, I'll try to help them how I see it. Like there's some that I'll encourage, right? Others that I'll discourage, and somewhere in between. There's a couple guys that we may offer the opportunity that if you want to get in and see what's out there, we'll bring you back if that's what you want to do. More importantly, we don't find something else that we want, right? So the key and the fact of we got to bring people, but what's happening now is there's kids that we've recruited that they want to be back in this program, right? Like that maybe they didn't choose us the first time, but they sure want us the second time. So I think the value of who we are as people and what we do in this building, not just coaches, but our players. Our players are our greatest recruiters.
I remember you said that. I remember before the Northwestern game, there were some players that reached back out to you. How do you make that decision whether to bring someone back, and why hasn't maybe you pulled the trigger?
Well,
what
first,
kind of goes into it?
It's a great question. I think first you got to find out where they're coming from, right? Why isn't it working where they're at, right? Because like even though you recruit kids out of high school, or maybe these guys are a couple guys we've been in the portal with before, but they didn't choose us, right? But this world of free agency that we live in creates an opportunity that's never been seen before, right? And I think they got to, again, kind of like what we just said, what Bob just said with Josh, right? If he didn't want to be here, we don't need him here, right? And if a kid wants to be here, but he's not the guy that we think he is, not just the skill set's kind of easy to watch. It's the other things that matter, right? Like we got a really good group of people that I always say that you recruit your own problems, right? And I think that's a very important thing to hang on to as a coach. And we've got a really good building. We got really good players with really good attitudes. And we have several coaches come in here and visit all the time. And again, we had 2 or 3 more coaches that I really respect, a coach on their staff coming here to this building, and they just talk about what they feel in this building. And I think that's something you can't put a price tag on.
You mentioned punter. Where do you feel like you'd like to maybe explore depth opportunity this spring?
Yeah, well, Crimmins has been unbelievable, but we really literally don't have a second string punter. So to have someone that, like, I can't tell you how many times I had a punter that helped us win a Big Ten championship, and my punter wasn't even on scholarship, right? And now the world that we're in, like, I'm going to have a punter that we're going to find and bring in here, and he'll walk into a ready-made second, but he could be our starting punter tomorrow, right? Crimmins has obviously earned that spot and got really good, but you never know what's happening. So I think that, I think across the board, what we do as coaches, we'll get done on Friday night, we'll meet Saturday morning and look at, okay, our starting 11 established on offense, defense, and then our core guys on special teams. Then how do we fill in around that? Because if some of these guys that want to get in the portal and leave are, look at Donovan Leary. I gave Donovan a huge hug and he left. I did like everything I could, but as soon as he made that decision, we just turned the page and moved to Ethan. And Carson's come in and done some things. Trey's done some nice jobs. So it's not what happens, it's how you react to what happens. And I'm not trying to, I don't know what that answer is yet, because I don't know what we're going to have in the portal.
You mentioned Carson
Yeah.
Monday and today. What has he shown you since being
He's, just what we thought in recruiting. He's a very accurate passer. He's very athletic. He makes a lot of good plays with his eyes, right, where he sees the game very well. I'm very impressed with his, even though he's a true freshman, should be going to prom in 2 weeks, like he's a very mature, established, way beyond how old he is. So I think that's jumped out to me. And then just his ability to understand the college game, like the college game can slow down when you understand things a lot better, and he has taken that like a sponge. So very impressive, but he's got a great role model in Luke, and Ethan's been very good with him. Art, to be in that room with those guys is very, very powerful.
You've had players over the years just say they like how honest you are with
Uh-huh.
players. Now your coaches are too. How much does that help when you have these conversations with players that think about it?
Yeah, it's good. I say it all the time. Honesty is always the best policy, right? Like, I remember early on in my life, I got caught playing with matches one day, right? And I denied, and didn't admit it, right? But every time they asked me if it was me, I'd apparently changed the story. I think I was 7 at the time, and I remember being told at the time, right, the reason we knew you were lying is you always change your story. And my grandparents actually said, you're going to learn a valuable lesson if you always tell the truth. You never have to remember what you said. And there's a lot. I say that all the time to our players, to our coaches. I think our players appreciate, like, even the hardest conversations are ones that make us grow. And it takes a long time for adults to realize that, as well as young people. We had a situation this week where a player was frustrated, and And all I shared with the coaches was like, this to me, this is on you, right? Like this conversation needed to happen before it happened. I would much rather have proactive conversations than reactive conversations. So we all learn every day in this building. I can't tell you how much fun it is to come to work every day, but I think the guiding principles of what we built this place on really matter.
How do you feel like
Awesome.
your recruiting that running back room maybe prepared you to be able to withstand a departure?
Yeah, I often think, like, I've compared this room sometimes to, you know, a crew. I got James White with me now, right? And James would be the first to tell you when he was coming here, he was a second string running back out of high school who was coming in on the heels of John Clay and Monty Ball, right? And then we had James White, who ended up coming in, was a freshman, big tournament player. And then, oh yeah, we had this fourth string guy by the name of Melvin Gordon, right? And in today's world, I don't know how long you'd be able to keep those four guys together, but that year you could. Last year we had a really good group, which allowed us to play at the end when we lost Caden, you know, and Aiden and Josh and Khalil. Khalil came in and helped us win the Kansas game, right? I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card at the beginning of fall camp, right? So I think Thad deserves a lot of credit for that running back room. He manages and handles that room. Coach Lunny puts together the plan. As a head coach, we got to monitor all of it. I have numerous conversations with not only the players, but the people around those players, right? How you say hello and how you say goodbye in this hallway matters, right? And I think our kids know that overall, and that does pay off.